Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike. Today, I have a little bit of a mail haul that I've kind of been saving up for the last couple weeks. Ordered these in off of Amazon. And I figured I would at least share what I have managed to get a hold of. So we got handy little knife. Now get into it. And these are very much got some DVDs and Blu-rays. Got the classic George Stevens film, The Greatest Story Ever Told. Kind of his epic portrayal of the life of Christ. Charlton Heston, David McCallum, Roddy McDowall, and Telly Savalas. Among the star-studded cast that made up this great piece of filmmaking. This was probably the first film about Jesus that I remember seeing as a kid. My grandmother had a copy of this on VHS. She still has it, but I don't have but I don't really have a VHS player anymore. But for its time, it was a really well done film, even though it was kind of a box office flop. But still quite a big time classic nonetheless. And the second one kind of continues the theme of, or the Christian theme here is Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. I've seen this particular film quite a few times, thanks to it being on Netflix for a few years. And in my opinion, it's really one of the most powerful pieces of filmmaking ever done on the subject. And it really gives you a taste of just what that man was put through in the last hours of his life. Just the amount of pain and suffering and humiliation that he had to endure. It certainly gives you a really good appreciation for what he did for all of us on that cross. I didn't notice this until just now, but apparently it has both an English and Spanish version of this, or at least and originally it was written in, or originally it was put together with the languages spoken at the time that all this was going on, both in the mixture of Latin, Aramaic, and Hebrew, which is really really adds to the whole experience of this one. Setting that aside, get to item number 2. Apparently I did need a knife for this one. Or for the last one, for that matter, it seems. Now, I will say that I have been a long time fan of the Star Wars franchise. However, I will admit that I have never been that fond of the sequel trilogy. To me, it's just for me, the writing in that one's just not very good. For me, the writing on that one was just not very good. Kind of lazy, and at times all over the place. And you could tell that they really did not plan the whole thing out quite like they should have. All brand new. And I will admit that I never really did have a problem with the prequels. When I was a kid, the only Star Wars I had were the originals. I was kind of in between it's kind of in between the two trilogies. And Qui-Gon Jinn was really one of my favorite characters from The Phantom Menace. And I've always had to me is just thought he was a very well-rounded character, and one that I really connected with and really got to like. And I've really been fascinated and in love with the lightsaber hilt that he had in that film. And I wanted to get a hold of his lightsaber hilt. Now, I will make note that this is not an original from the 90s. At least I don't think it is. Although the fact that it has the Disney logo on it should say everything I need to know. So, should I have left it in this package, or does it really matter now? I'll have to grab some batteries and a very small screwdriver, Phillips head. But I'll do that in a hot second. And this last one, kind of a different shape to all of them than the rest of them. And I've been searching for a copy of this, for a very, very long time. And I found it just before Christmas. And when I open it, you'll at least be able to, when I open it, it should be quite the collector's piece. It is. First, let me get this packing slip out of here. It is the class is an actual vinyl album of some of the greatest horror and suspense radio programs of all time. Now most of these, now the are recreations. Of some of their classic works. And included is probably their most famous radio drama, The Dark, which is one of the more basically story about a mysterious dark fog that turns people inside out, and was really one of the and really one of the reasons why the program, and in particular The Dark, is so well remembered is because they went well above and beyond for doing the sound effects. Yeah, especially with the dark. And to this day, I don't think you'll find a radio program or any kind of a show that was as innovative as this one. Because instead of showing you, a vivid picture between the dialogue, narration, and sound effects, you pretty much had to piece together what was going on in your mind. And at times, I think that is the hallmark of a great story, is that it can really make your mind work in very different and strange ways. Like I said, I've been searching for a copy of this for years. As a gift from my mother, who had a copy of this when she was a little girl, and it was pretty much one of her favorites. And from what I was told, that particular album was smashed a very long time ago. And so this one will potentially go to her as soon as I can find a record player to play it on. I'm sorry if I'm kind of rambling with a lot of ums and ahs. At this point, I'm not too great with speaking off the cuff. And I'll be right back with some batteries. So I've got my box of batteries. Let's see what this one is supposed to take. Let's see, triple A's. I'm going to have some of these. Need a different screwdriver. Yeah, I need a different screwdriver. While this lightsaber doesn't make any noise, now let's see this in action. Certainly brings back some of the nostalgia of being 8 or 9 years old and being just in awe of what I've seen on the big screen. I must have seen Phantom Menace at least a dozen times in theaters. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I want to thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you next time.